Hey, Rick,
Hey, Megan.
I have to wear readers now. I don't know what happened this year, but all of a sudden I can't see things right in front of my face.
Join the club.
Must, I know. I'm like, oh man, this is all happening at once. Okay, we
Yeah.
have had a hell of a September. I mean,
Mhm.
wow. I mean, there's highs, there's lows. I was looking on my Verizon bill yesterday because I was looking for a phone number that I've talked to so many times. I wanted to like count how many phone conversations I had with this person, just because I have nothing else to do. And on my bill, it said in the month of September, I spent over 30 hours talking on the phone, and I had about, I think it was 6,200 text messages.
Yikes.
Okay.
So I guess
6,200.
my so I guess my question then, Megan, is when do you sleep? When do you
I
sleep? I just
know.
want to know. And
You
by the way,
know.
I see your emails at 5:40 in the morning, so I know because I'm up
Oh,
and early like you are, right? I
oh,
see your
I
emails at
get up
4 o'clock,
at 4
4:30. Yeah, right.
and I have my 2 hours of the phone doesn't ring and I can just get
Mhm. Jam through stuff.
everybody's act together. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I see those emails at 4:35 in the morning.
Yep. Everybody's, by the time they wake up, they're like, here we go. Megan's got the messages.
She's on a
Let's
roll. Get
get
out
it
of the
done.
way.
Let's
Yeah,
get it done. Okay.
that's right.
So, talking about September and what a hair raising adventure it's been, I had, and I always talk about good things, right? Oh, everything's great. We're the best. Everything will be smooth. It'll be perfect. Well, guess what? We're all human beings and stuff happens. And in September, very sadly, I had two escrows fall out. I never have escrows
I
fall out,
know.
but it happens even to the best of us. One of them was a house that ended up getting back under contract for 80,000 more than what I'd sold it for
Nice. There you
originally.
go. Mhm.
So yeah, nobody was crying over that soup there. But the other one was fell out of escrow for silly goose, really ridiculous things, went back into escrow, and that one we had another house to buy, right? So you know what I'm talking about. So we had a
Mhm.
chain reaction. And there was just so many silly things that happened that I thought today a good topic would be quick and easy ways to derail your escrow at the last minute. Quick and
And
easy ways. All
yeah,
right.
and this is not out of a it's not out of a class somewhere. It's real life stuff.
This is real
Right.
life,
It's not theory. It's real life.
right? And so, like,
Yeah.
I looked on AI because I told you about that because we love AI in the office. It just is helpful with writing stuff and researching and all this kind of stuff. And so I typed it into AI. AI doesn't know anything about this stuff. Okay. So I had to just scrap what they were talking about and go back to my real life experience. So you and I talked beforehand, and we have decided to take turns on the top reasons your escrow is going to fall out the last minute. Congratulations, you've really messed this one up. And so you're going to go first with not in any particular order. These are all equally as terrible as they can possibly be. All right, Rick, number one, go for it.
Number one, we don't see this a lot, but I have seen it. So we just have to really kind of let buyers know, do not, under any circumstance, get all excited by your house and go out and buy a bunch of furniture and appliances. Do not do that. I've seen that happen. They walk into, like you say, walk into the weekend of Lowe's or Home Depot. Oh, we got this sale, got 0 interest for 18 months. I got by today. And I'm thinking, hey, 18 months, no interest, no
Yeah,
payments. I'm good. I'm good.
yeah,
No. So what you have to know, what buyers have to know, every lender, without exception, does what's known as a soft credit pull before close of escrow. And that soft pull happens about 2 days before closing. And so when that soft credit pull shows a inquiry to Synchrony Bank, they're going to go,
how do
what's
you
that
know it's
for?
Synchrony Bank? It is
Hello, right?
for living spaces. Yeah.
Yeah, all those guys, right? Synchrony Bank owns
Right.
all those deals, right? So we
Yeah.
know, okay, so what'd you buy? Give us the challenge with that is usually it doesn't create a problem, except that that typically happens when, oh, the day they're trying to sign loan documents, close the next day.
Yeah.
Well, we know what's going to happen next. You got to give us a statement, show us how much the payment is. Then, if there's a payment associated, The next step is we have to send that back to underwriting and have them read a loan, start that process over again. And so what seems to be a very benign innocent, oh, great, got some furniture at a great price over the weekend, turns into an absolute disaster trying to close your escrow at the last minute, and you're going to get delays. You're going to get delays every time. So, and I get this question with certain home buyers. Here's the easy answer. Go buy all you want, but do it the weekend after you close. I'm good. It's all good. You tell the salesperson next weekend, this next weekend, not this weekend, next weekend.
I know. Remember layaway back in the day?
Oh yeah, right.
I bet most people listening to this don't know what layaway is. Like you go to Kmart and you couldn't afford to buy it now. So you could put it in the back and they would hold it for you for a certain period of time until you could come back and buy it. Man, those layaway, those were the days. So lay it away for later. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Especially people who are on the fringe of qualifying and now they just added like, a $200 payment every month. It's like, great job. Now you don't have a house. You have all this nice furniture, no house. Or
I had that happen one time, actually.
Yeah. That's terrible. Or co-signing for somebody else on some other kind of debt, just don't do it. Don't mess with your credit.
Exactly. So also, if they co-sign, they co-sign for someone's car.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's a car payment. That's $800 a month. Now, for sure, you're not going to qualify.
Oh yeah,
unless you give the car back. Right.
Yeah.
So the message here is very, very simple. I know in the heat of like, oh, we're getting a house, it's all exciting. It's hard to do that. Here's the key. Do not, under any circumstance, run your credit for any inquiries for nothing. Leave it alone. The day after you close escrow, do what you want. But until the day we close escrow, do not touch it.
Do not touch it. Okay. Yeah. Whew, man. All right. Here's my part. The next item is not wiring your money on time. Friends and buyers alike. Okay. Here's the deal. You know how much money you have to wire in about. You've had an estimate. You've signed another estimate. You use, the money is going into the escrow account. Whatever they don't use, they're going to send back to you. But here's what I've seen. Weird stuff. One, people, they've wired money on Friday. It didn't get there today until Tuesday because it got stopped at the bank for fraud review. So I think we're going to be seeing more of this. So everybody needs to buckle up and make sure that they are wiring their funds with plenty of time to get to escrow to close. And the second thing is, before you wire money, you've got wiring instructions usually, but call the escrow company or the title company and make sure, confirm with them while you're there what the wiring instructions are. Because I was talking to my friend this week and she said that her friend's mom wired like, $150,000 to the wrong place. And now they can't find it because somebody hacked somebody's email and got the wiring instructions and wired it right to their account. So that is life-changing and devastating. So don't do that. Okay.
That's a great point, by the way, Megan. We've seen that more lately, but the best practice on that, and I tell buyers the same thing, I know you do as well, do not wait till the day of closing to wire that money, because buyers think that when they wire that money, that's like instantaneous transfer. It's not. It has to go through the treasury process, has to clear a bunch of channels before it gets to escrow. And that process, on a good day, can take 3 or 4 or 5 hours. And so if a buyer goes into escrow at 10 o'clock to wire the money and you need money there by noon, you're really taking a risk. I always say the best practice is try to wire that money at least 48 hours ahead of closing.
I'd like to see 3 days. But this little snafu that we had, and it's like, oh my gosh. All right.
For sure.
All right. The next one's on you. Do you have it written down or do you want me to tell you what it is?
Well, we're seeing this more often than not lately. And that is, and it's a big one, oddly enough, is homeowners insurance. Especially in the state of California. So what I'm getting is that they, for some reason with home buyers, they think, okay, I'll get the insurance at the last minute. That's when I need it. Yes, escrow needs that policy right before closing. We get all of that. But so often these insurance companies they want to underwrite the file. They want to see the properties. They put the property through so many paces to get that coverage completed it can take sometimes 2 or 3 or 4 days or a week sometimes.
Mhm.
And so, yeah, and we both know that we cannot go to final approval. I mean, go to approval, but we cannot go to docs and closing without that insurance. We
Right.
cannot. It's not possible. So
Right.
best guidance for buyers, please get in contact with your insurance agent up front. And within about 10 days of closing, get that policy in, get it in, be ready. We don't want that to be a last minute snag. And it has been
Mhm.
lately. And I get it. People get busy. They got so much going on in home purchase. Their mind's going 1,000 miles an hour. But that one little, what you think is a very simple thing to get, call your agent, get the policy, get them. No, it doesn't work that way. So you just want to be mindful that get that in early, the better.
Yeah, agreed. And then oh yeah, we were going to talk about HOAs, that sometimes there's some last minute stuff that they need to turn in. And we had one this week. We had just a very small and inefficient HOA that took forever to get a piece of documentation. So we want to stay on top of our homeowners associations. And then the last thing we're going to talk about was the price for not closing on time, for causing a delay. And I was going to talk about my part and you're going to talk about your part. So my part is, if you delay closing, obviously, people have taken off of work. Like, you've got to be considerate. Even if it wasn't you that had to take off of work, there's usually somebody else involved. Take off of work, days off work, movers, rescheduling movers, that usually has a price. It's very, very messy when you close escrow late, especially when there's another group moving in or out. But you have the biggest point of what happens if we're late and late.
Yeah, good point. And I think about this. It's almost like organized chaos, right? You got all these moving parts happening, and all have to happen at the same time. And if one thing's out of place, it's going to cause a delay. Where we get into a bigger issue sometimes in terms of money costs is we always have a rate lock. Now, so what that means is that the rate is locked up until a certain date. Do not want that rate lock to expire, because if you have to extend that lock, there's almost always a cost associated with that rate extension. Now, with me, we've had really 5 days to extend for free. Okay. And that's pretty generous. So we try to lock those loans and give them enough time, and even with that 5 day extension. But we had a case this last week where we had all those extra time extensions, and because of delays that we could not control, we were kind of blowing past that. Well, after that first extension, that that extension, the second extension, is very, very expensive. And
Yeah.
if we get to that point, that's a cost that I have no control over. It's an actual cost to extend the rate for that market. And so we really wanted to avoid that. So there's a lot of moving parts. People don't see this. We see it, we're in it every day, but the average person, home buyer, home seller, does not really know all the parts that we're managing around that process to get you to that final closing table. And so we do not want that rate to expire. And so timing is so important.
Yeah, that could be, because I mean, did you already cover what, like, give people an idea of what a rate lock extension costs?
Well, I'll tell you, we had one this last week. Uh, it was a funny thing, title was closed on Friday. And Friday
Uh-huh.
was the last day that I could extend that lock.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, I had to roll that funding until Monday,
Mm-hmm.
right? The cost to extend this, in this case, on that particular loan, the cost to extend from Friday to Monday was $1,350. It is not cheap, because these are big loan amounts here in Orange County, right?
Right.
So it's based on loan size. In this case, honestly, we funded it, and I helped the buyer with some prepaid interest over the weekend. We got it covered. It's all good.
Yeah.
But sometimes you don't have that flexibility, right?
Right.
And so we don't want this race to expire. We've managed that, as you know, very, very closely. But as we've learned this past really month of September, some things we don't control, the HOAs,
Right.
right? Things
Right.
happen, things happen, and we can't control that. So we
That's
just
why
want to
we
be
do not
mindful,
wait to the last minute for any of this
right?
stuff. Get it done.
Correct.
All
Yes,
right, Rick. Well,
I know.
I hope that somebody can watch this and save themselves some heartache and get their act together so that their closing happens in a timely manner, and that everyone lives happily ever after.
That's always the plan.
All right, Rick, thank you for your time and your smile. And we
Thank you,
will
Megan.
see
Appreciate you.
you again next week.
Next Tuesday, we'll be here.